Hello, and welcome to yet another episode of the Back to the TARDIS podcast, the podcast where we take a look at every single episode of the 2005 revival of BBC's Doctor Who. I'm Jeff.
I am Aurora and sick.
I am. I don't fucking know.
And this week, we are discussing Series 10, Episode 4, Knock Knock by... God, who the fuck even wrote this one? It's not a normal name. Mike Bartlett, who I believe has only written this story. I feel like we're continuing the social commentary trend here just a little bit with like a housing crisis nod, kinda. But I feel like the difference here is that I don't know. I actually feel like the moments where it like alludes to real world stuff is like kind of the worst parts.
I mean, I don't think it even like makes a fixation out of that. It's just sort of like the setup and then moves on to something that's just completely unrelated to real world problems pretty much.
But it's basically kind of a simple little haunted house shindig. Which to me was just it's notable because one of Bill's housemates is the voice actor for a major Final Fantasy XIV character. So I took a picture of me pointing at him and doing the pointing Wojak face.
As is your God-given right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Atmosphere and character are definitely strong suits. There's social commentary, but I was just like, we all know why we're here at this point.
Yeah. I think it's an evil house. It's the house that eats people. Mamma mia.
It's like I feel like I think one of this episode's strengths is just the vibe it has where like nobody really questions the Doctor being around that much except for Bill. He's just allowed to just kind of wander around and be weird and nobody really cares.
Yeah, I mean, what are you going to do? Your housemate brings over her weird grandpa and he's being weird. What are you going to do, you know?
It's just like, oh, this is...
I love the bit where
This is some WPS.
Yeah, I love the bit where she introduces him as her granddad and he's like, I'm not old. I don't look old enough for that.
And she's like, shut up.
And also it has noted actor and portrayer of Inspector Poirot, David Suchet, as the weird, creepy old guy that everybody should probably have been a little bit more wary of.
Again, a different brand of WPS.
Yeah. But yeah, no, it feels almost like it's weird how it feels like almost like, so I don't have that much familiarity with the particular genre, but I swear like this setup feels like them trying to do their version of like a slasher movie. Like it has all the tropes. Like creepy house, it's old, it's very cheap, and they're just like, oh no, it's okay, it'll be fine, despite a bunch of like very clear signs that like no it won't, and then they start getting picked off one by one.
It's like creepy old mansion, creepy old guy, it's a way too cheap, everything's a little bit too creaky. It's like a pretty basic horror setup. I think it's quirky and fun.
Everyone else is young and hot. Yeah, it fits. Really doesn't pay to be genre savvy in the world of Doctor Who, but Also, we've reset the canon like
Yeah.
half a dozen times by now, so fuck it, I guess.
Yeah. And I mean, like, Bill's here, like, hey, like, this is really weird. I don't know what's up with this, but also at the same time, like, hey, it's a big ass house for cheap, so, like, you know, sometimes you gotta go with that. Um, so yeah, I will say, like, there's some jank, like, in terms of keeping up on the CG. There is some like jank ass CG in here, but I think there's also some very good practical stuff too.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
yeah. I really like the bleh. Oh, brain moment. I really like the effect for like the mother that's become like wood. It's like between this and the Weeping Angels, it's like the Mills they were the who are the like effects group. The Mills like forte seems to be making things that should be inanimate objects, like like making people look like they should be inanimate objects but aren't.
Yeah, this feels like the perfect, I don't know, synthesis, but like we obviously have those like tree people in series 1 briefly, and then we kind of
Yeah.
give that up until the Doctor, the Widow, and the Wardrobe, and those wood people were, I guess, whatever. They didn't look bad, but like
Yeah.
this, I don't know, this is a superior wood makeup
This is
design.
pretty good.
Yeah. No, I like how it's utilized
Yeah.
here.
I mean, it also has the benefit of like, if it's kind of like stiff or jerky, that's fine, and in fact it kind of works into like the immersion because it's wood. It is a little bit jerky. It's solid wood, you know. It's not easy.
Oh yeah,
Um
that's sort of what I meant. It's not the tree people in that like, oh, she's just walking around fine and she has tits because sci-fi. Um
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. No, it's good.
I do also really
That's
like
good.
the effect of the guy in the
Yeah.
wall.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, that's some good, real good
Yeah.
shit. Absolutely.
That was like some actual horror shit. Yeah.
Yeah, like the actual it runs into a similar thing, and this I feel like this happens a lot of times where it's like, okay, if this isn't moving, it's fine. It's when it starts moving that it starts to look a lot rougher. Cause like when they're actually getting like bugged or like absorbed into the wood, that one looks kind of bad. But like when it's just like a stationary thing, that works pretty well.
Yeah. Not quite as well as the flatline effect.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the flatline effect is a place is a place where they almost weaponize the fact that it looks
Yeah.
janky and not right because it's something from not from this plane of existence. So yeah, it doesn't look right because it doesn't conform to our universe.
No, yeah. That's what I meant. But yeah.
Yeah. Um that being said, I think it is like I feel like any case where you're in a situation where you're like, yeah, no, you can have this house today, and without even checking like what amenities it has, like, I know y'all are desperate, but damn.
Yeah. And then
You
they
don't
don't have
even-
a
you don't
washing machine.
Yeah, it's like you don't even check to see if you have a fucking washing machine. Like what?
Look, this is a cottagecore fantasy. Okay, we don't need no fucking. We're Luddites here. If the house just happens to kill a few of us off, fuck technology. I don't know. Watch Star Trek Insurrections.
I think it's always really fun when you run into an episode where, in terms of like humanoids and not even just humanoids, but like people that look human even, it's always really funny when the doctor isn't the weirdest one of those in the room. Like everybody's like, yeah, this guy's fucking weird. So yeah, otherwise it's kind of just a runabout, you know. And that's, you know, that's fine, that's cool, but I do think this, in like the overall series trajectory, this kind of is just filler. It's enjoyable filler, but
it's even more filler than the other episodes.
Yeah, it doesn't pop in the same way the last few episodes did.
Yeah.
It's very mediocre.
Yeah. Like it works. This, well, let me put it this way. If this was a series 2 episode, it would be one of the better episodes of the season.
Yeah.
If this was a Chibnall episode.
If this was a Chibnall episode, we'd admire it for its stunning competency.
And you'd put in a Cyberman. Yeah. It's
yeah.
It's like we've done the typical like companion thing, right? Like we've introduced them, we've gone to the future, we've gone to the past. They have like a pretty solid handle on being with the Doctor. They're, you know, Bill is nothing like Clara yet in how like competent she'd become, but she's not like the other students anymore. Like she's on the inside. She's on the other side of the looking glass, however the fuck you want to put it. Like she's starting to recognize
exactly.
Some things, even if the main conceit is that there's a housing crisis, which, you know, valid, pop off king.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So true.
But no, it's still good filler. It's still good atmosphere. It's still like a good message, even if like the reason you're saying that this landlord is a bastard is not because he's a landlord, but because his mom is made of wood. There's probably a Freudian joke you could use there, but
God, there's some weird ass undertones from the end of this.
There is.
Like, I don't know how much you guys want to talk about that, but this is kind of weird. I don't know.
Look, I'm sure someone on AO3 has run with this idea. I'm not sure we need to.
Oh God, yeah, okay, yep. Yeah, I will say, like, yeah, I think, I really do think that the episode itself is still, you know, pretty fun, pretty enjoyable. But I do think that the ending kind of messes it. Like, I feel like the ending kind of stops working as well as some of the rest of the episode was. Like, I know this is Doctor Who, and like I am getting like a little bit nitpicky here, but just the fact of like she sacrifices herself and then somehow everyone else is brought back to life after she does that. Like if they just if they flipped the events in which that occurred, I wouldn't have a problem with it. But yeah, also the fact that the entire house is consumed, even though you can clearly see from the outside that it's not all wood. Like, at the very least, like, the foundation should still be there. There was a bunch of stone in that shot. Yeah, and it does feel a little 45-minute syndrome-y of just, like... It feels super Moffat, too, also. Like, it's almost back to that fucking fairy tale shit. With the
yeah, especially the constant references, like him naming them dryads. Also, I don't think we ever actually clarified where they came from. They just at the end.
They just showed up. Yeah, which I mean that's fine. I don't need everything to be concretely explained. But
what is it with Doctor Who and having tree-centered episodes where it's very implausible? You've had like what?
See, this one isn't even as funny as the last one. That last one was so cracked out that it's like funny. This one's just kind of like, it's all right, I guess. I need the unhinged tree shit, you know? Just really go full in on the just ridiculous, like if they just went all in on the vaguely Freudian undertones, that would have been memorable. But no, we're just stuck with it being all right and then just like kind of questionable.
Yeah, I mean this isn't as, it's obviously better, but it like kind of gives me like Chloe Weber vibes. Like, yeah, there's a message.
Oh my god. Yeah, it kind of does.
It's like, right. Yeah, there's a message. Yeah, there's kind of like this tense tone. Yeah, there's some people who should really fucking know better about what's going on. And it's better implemented than that. I'm not saying like, oh, these are like neck and neck, but it has that kind of vibe as a filler episode, like gearing into like some heavier shit, which like in a hop, skip, and a jump, we're gonna be into some episodes that are like gonna start off like a mid-series arc. Like, it's like you kind of have to have stuff like this. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. No, definitely. Yeah. And then, and at the very end, there's the vault tease, which I think is really well done this episode. I really like the bit. Like, it's slightly nerfed by the fact that they did in fact come back. But I think it's really fucking funny how she basically stonewalls him until he talks about like, oh yeah, a bunch of kids got eaten too.
Yeah, that was so good. Also the piano.
Yeah. And Nardal's like, why did you do that? But yeah, no, I mean, so it's the kind of thing where it's impossible for me to say like how well any of this works with or not works, but how well, like, is it overly foreshadowed that it's the master? Like, how kind of clear that is, because that's already been revealed that Genie is not going back into the bottle anytime soon. But yeah, no, it's a good ending. It's a good tease. Pretty shortly, she'll be actually, showing up, for real, and we can get into the real meat and potatoes. But, right now, they're still trying to hide what's actually in the vault.
Yeah, you kind of gave it away because you if there's somebody listening to this who hasn't watched this season, you kind of just spoiled it to them.
Anyone who's here and listening to this, I am expecting already knows who's in the vault. I'm just talking from the perspective of someone who doesn't know that already. Like just trying to put myself in that person's shoes. Not that I expect that person to actually be listening to the show. Though, if you remember how fooled you are, please feel free to let us know.
Yeah. I have something on my mind, but it's kind of off topic. But it feels
Go
prescient. Ahead. So apparently Matt Lucas is being canceled again.
Oh, is this because the Great British Bake
Yeah,
Off thing?
because the Great British Bake Off decided to do Mexican Week. And you know, the clips do sound.
This is what happens when we let the British get too comfortable. I don't know what to say.
Yeah, they haven't been dealing with anything over there. Someone needs to throw them a few curveballs. But yeah, it was just. And I don't even like hate Matt Lucas or like think he should be like forever canceled or anything. I'm just like, my guy. Like, what are you doing?
Is he doubling down on it on Twitter?
I don't know. I stopped following him.
It's funny because I saw the thing with like the Mexican thing. Okay, I didn't actually know about Matt Lucas doing like racist shit before, but it's because of this like stupid Mexican stuff, which I think is like it's hokey and dumb, but I wouldn't be like too pressed about it personally. But then I was like, it's hilarious that he's gonna get canceled for this when he did blackface, and I was like, what?
Yeah. No, and like I don't know if he ever. I mean, Emma would probably know whether or not he actually ever apologized for that, because I think like ultimately with that part, that was like in 2008, and while like that's still a little bit too late for that, if he at least like acknowledged that like no, that's shitty and you shouldn't do that, I'd be like fine with it. It's more if he just kind of pretends that it didn't happen that I'm like
yeah. I mean, it's the blackface is definitely the worst offense. Like all they do is like they dress up in like some sombreros and then they like make a joke in like Spanish. Again, I haven't seen the whole episode, although I could. It's just, you know, maybe he doesn't care.
I hate to be a little bit facetious, but I will jokingly say they're British. What did you expect?
This is true. All British people that I know who are chill also happen to be Irish or Scottish, so I think that bloodline is really doing the majority of the heavy lifting.
Emma's chill too.
I'm kidding. Chill. Yeah, no, y'all can be cool. Yeah, I mean, like, I guess he's lost some weight, it looks like, so I guess something about life isn't bothering him anymore, if that is indeed his choice. So cool. That had nothing to do with anything we talked about for like the past 20 minutes, but
Matt Lucas is in the episode. It's fine. Brain moment. Yeah. Did you guys? I'm gonna be real. I haven't even watched the trailer. The new trailer that just dropped. I haven't even watched it.
Exactly.
the last 13 episode.
I don't care.
Yeah,
but the power of the Doctor and Ace and someone else, I forget. Fuck you. I don't know. Yes,
Tegan.
Her.
It's Tegan. I'm going to watch it just because I want to see how this ends, but I do not expect anything from it, and I also like. I don't expect anything, and I don't expect anything, and I'm not watching Sea Devils.
Based.
It seems like we joke about the past 5 years being an anime filler arc, but Sea Devils seems like it is actual anime filler.
What is Sea Devils?
The last episode that came
out. Their Easter special.
Okay.
I believe it was around Easter. Is how they build it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm mainly curious to see if like if when the regeneration happens, first of all, if it like happens at all in the episode, it probably will, but like when it
Yeah.
does, if we're gonna end up with like a sixth to seventh Doctor situation where we know they're regenerating, but they hadn't like quite nailed down who and
Yeah,
when.
when they finished filming it,
Yeah,
yeah.
and like it seems pretty. I mean, like spoilers. We've kind of talked about it before, so fuck off. But um, like we know Tennant is gonna be in the 60th, but like, did they know that at
Yeah.
the time? How the hell have shooting schedules been lining up? Like, I honestly have no goddamn idea, and that's just like interesting to me from a
Yeah.
filmmaking perspective. So if we end the episode and it's like a fade, or we start to see some like bad CGI
Yeah. I'm gonna laugh my
compositioning of
ass
her
off.
features turning into Tennant before it like fades to black.
I'm gonna laugh my ass off if that happens. That'll be so
Exactly.
funny. Um, and just really like it underpins how much of a nightmare era the last 5 years have been. Like, I don't know if y'all saw this. Did you see the thing where they basically said, yeah, we didn't know that RTD was going to take over until like 24 hours before the rest of the world, which was like while they were filming the last episode. So, like,
Oh my
while they were
God.
shooting, they had no idea if the show was even going to keep going.
That's like, damn.
It's such a fucking nightmare. It's like, God. I'm just glad that it really seems like RTD's like condition on coming back is like, no, motherfucker, I get full creative control. Like, my production company will handle it. You can air it and you can make money off of it, but I will be the one making the decisions of what is aired, and then you just air the finished product. Cause yeah, no, they've completely like the BBC. The BBC is no longer producing Doctor Who. They are still airing it. It is still their property, but all production has gone entirely over to Bad Wolf. But yeah, that was another installment of News Corner, which I feel like comes up when we don't have much to talk about the actual
Yeah, we don't have
episode.
shit to talk about. This is the filler week.
um, anything else you guys have to say on this particular episode?
Isn't one of the characters supposed to be like a Easter egg, like the grandson of like a classic character or something?
Is it? I never noticed. Let me check the wiki. Let's see.
I feel like I read that somewhere.
Oh, wait. The Alphino was supposed to be fucking Harry Sullivan's grandson? Holy
Yeah,
shit.
that's the one.
Huh. I didn't know about that. That's cool. I respect that. I respect that they gave that to the I respect that they gave that to the character that was being played by Alphino's voice actor. Hell yeah. All right. Cool. Yeah, okay. Moving on to ratings. Yeah, it's fine. I it I don't want to punch down, but like it's fine, and it is more acceptable filler than most of what the show has been doing recently, I feel. And that's kind of depressing. But yeah, it's fine. Like B.
Yeah. Um. Again, this is very competent. Um. This is good Doctor Who. Um. A nice, cast of ensemble for like the kind of tone they're going for. Setting is good. CGI and effects are mostly good, mostly when still or when we're talking about the landlord's mother. Um there's atmosphere, there's like commentary, but none of it like is truly stellar. But it's still there and still works. Bill and Capaldi again, kind of the highlight. Especially here because of their like just like differing like paths in life. So yeah, it's a solid, solid 8. Solid 8 out of 10.
Yeah, I don't know what to say. It's just a very basic episode. I think it's got an interesting setup and aesthetic. And it just sort of like goes with that. It doesn't do much. It doesn't do anything really crazy. It's a pretty okay episode. I'd say it's like a 7 out of 10.
Yeah. I would just like to say that good news, everyone. This is still not our shortest episode. The shortest, which means that we still get to keep it so that our shortest episode is the Sleep No More one.
Based.
As God intended. All right. So yeah, next week we will be taking a look at Oxygen, which we will probably have much more to talk about than we did this week. Until then, you can follow the podcast on Twitter at B2TARDISPod. You can support us on Patreon for a number of benefits, such as early access to episodes, the ability to listen in live to episodes being recorded, and potentially even the ability to guest star upon an episode of your choosing. I'm Geoff. You can follow me on Twitter at WheatleyDL.
I'm Aurora. Insert your Freudian joke here. You can follow us on Twitter at Aurora Borealis.
I think Freud was a hack fraud. That's my joke.
Based. You can follow us on
Freud, more like fraud.
Our Twitter handle is Aurora Borealis because we're original. Yes, give us a follow and say hi. I don't know.
I've been trapped in COVID prison for over a week. I haven't eaten any meat, and I really want a burger.
Send them your condolences in this trying time.
Inshallah, you get a burger soon.
You're not even in France, so I can't make the Pulp Fiction Royale with cheese joke. SMH. Anyways, we'll see you all next
They do
week.
actually call it a Royale with cheese here.
Oh, cool.
Hell yeah.
Let's go.
Well, Royale mit Käse, but yeah.
Yeah. All right, cool. All right, see y'all next week.